I just came on here to say what I need to say, and I'm getting off real quick. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you though. I'm gonna go ahead and say this and get this out the way. But hey, the weirdest thing I've been hearing lately is, especially the last 24 hours, people been saying, "Hey, what code? What code, nigga? Why do you care about a code that somebody else talking about?" That's the only thing I'm gonna ask as far as that. Why does all these people who have no idea what anybody's talking about or care, they have no care about the code? They like, oh, why care about that? Why do you care? That's the weirdest thing I done heard lately. Like that's very annoying right now. Man, people be saying some dumb stuff and trying to be a smart ass. And then when you hear them actually say it, you like, be the man. I'm gonna tell you something, cause I'm gonna just say this real quick, cause I feel like it. But um, these be the main dudes talking about some. I'm hearing people talking about what code. All these niggas boxers is black that they watch. Every black boxer you watch is black. But you talking about what code are you talking about? That's how people get. That's how stuff in the street get go way left. People like that. They be knowing exactly what you talking about, but still want to get some action because just can't let it go. Dudes be only watching black boxers. They be, what code are you talking about? What? Why do you care? Why do people be caring about stuff? Why? I never thought about that. Like if I don't care about nothing, I just ain't gonna speak on it. If you don't care about it, why do you care? Yeah, I don't understand that. If you don't care about something, why do you care? It's a lot of people in boxing right now that don't care about stuff, but they care. I don't care about that, but they care because you keep talking about it. You keep talking about stuff you don't care about. It's a million things going on in boxing right now that's important, but for some reason you keep talking about something you don't care about. Dudes are here. What code? What? Why do you care about people talking about what code? Why are you trying to figure out that? Yeah, that's weird. I wasn't even gonna speak on it, but it's getting kind of weird now. Everybody focusing on that instead of dudes being bigger than damn Canelo, and that weirded me out for real. I'm like, okay, I'm obviously seeing guys with that 47 bigger than Canelo, but we focusing on that. Oh, what's up? What's going on, AR? So everybody, out of everything that happened in the last 24 hours, everybody trying to figure out what code. When we gonna start talking about Canelo and Boots? All of a sudden we talking about codes now? Exactly. You don't care, but you care. Like people don't even know. That's why the word cap is still in style, because niggas be capping still. They don't know how to not cap. That word is gonna forever be in style because they do it every second, all the time. This dude, but bigger, obviously. So let me go ahead and get into this because ain't no codes. Uh, Obviously we just seen. Oh, to everybody else, and ain't no code, but I'm gonna tell you what code they on right now. The code that everybody else on right now is they don't want to talk about how Boost is bigger than Canelo in this farm photo. That's the code that everybody who talking about what code? What code you talking about? What code? Everybody who's saying that right now they ain't talking about how he bigger than Canelo. Every dude who talking about what code? You said who I got. Hold on. You said hello. You said who I got versus Canelo and Crawford. I have Crawford in that fight. Yeah, I got Crawford. Yeah, but what's weird about that is people are asking what code, but they ain't speaking on how this man bigger than Canelo though. Can you really have an honest boxing conversation with a lot of people these days? No, not really. No, nah. They go left too fast. Everything got to be in left field all the time. Cause what everybody's saying right now, even about the sparring, is still more extreme than what I'm saying. People are changing picks because I'm changing my pick, doing this. Oh, he for sure going what? Are we serious? What's up, Alpha? What's going on? What's up, dog? The performances that Canelo been having lately. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna be real with y'all. The the performances that Canelo's been having in the ring have been so trash. The last three, really, I can go back further than that. I'm being nice. The last three have been so trash that the only thing people can celebrate right now is Jaron Ennis sparring Canelo. That's the toughest thing Canelo done did in probably 2 years, which is pathetic. And I'll go a step further and say it's also pathetic because last 2 weeks I was seeing where the Virgil Ortiz and Boots conversation was gonna go, and people didn't really want to talk about it. Then all of a sudden, it went from that to Xander Zayas and Virgil Ortiz. Now we talking about Boots sparring Canelo. Man, you want to talk about reaching, man? This is reaching. Canelo ain't never took so many sparring pictures in his life. We barely getting some now. So let's be real. And I'm actually being nice about it. You know what I'm saying? But this is probably the toughest thing Canelo's done in 2 years. That's not a good thing. Being real with y'all. If the toughest thing he did in the last 2 years is sparring boots a couple of weeks before he fight Crawford, he's definitely gonna lose. And I'm not a guy who guaranteeing nothing. I keep it real over here. But if but the way people are talking right now, it definitely has me feeling like Canelo's guaranteed gonna lose. If this is a difference maker. Cause the last time I checked, let me tell you how stupid these people are. So people just said recently that Virgil Ortiz was getting ducked by boots. Just the last 2-3 weeks, right? So the news comes out recently that I put out too, and I seen also. I said, "Hey man, Virgil Ortiz sparring Canelo. Man, Canelo getting ready. Canelo's a beast. He out here sparring Virgil Ortiz. Man, he getting ready. I don't know if it was recently, but I'm like, man, even though he got him in the gym. So the people who are Virgil Ortiz fans who've been saying that Boots is ducking Virgil Ortiz turns around and says, not when Virgil Ortiz says that he sparred Canelo, but when they see Boots sparring Canelo, they like, yeah. I'm totally confused right now. I thought y'all was picking Virgil to beat Boots. These dudes all over the place, man. They don't know what they want to do. They reaching for anything right now. Yeah, man, I seen the spar. It's actually pretty pathetic. What's up, Crawford loaded gloves and Timmy T? He said Canelo is going to hurt him. I don't know what that means. To be honest with you, it sounds like a some a third grader would say. He said, "I know Bud fans are scared. Bud fans are scared. What? Bud fans are scared? I thought everybody said Crawford ain't got no fans. Now he got fans. That's news to me. So what's up with this size though? Y'all want me to pull that picture down real quick? I ain't heard nobody saying nothing about it. Y'all see the title, right? Is Boots bigger than Canelo Alvarez right now? Yes or no? Anybody in the chat right now? Question. Aircraft carrier, Timmy T, loaded gloves. Is Boots Ennis bigger than Canelo in this picture? That's all I want to ask. All I want to ask. He said they say Boots sold out on the black race for sparring Canelo. Okay, Mexicans say that Canelo sold out by not fighting Benavidez. Duh. So what is that? You're laughing because it's a black thing? They said it about Benavidez and Canelo too. These dudes reaching, y'all. Y'all see that? They send these bots in here to reach. They said the same thing about Benavidez and Canelo too. You have Mexican fans in Mexico that say the same thing about Canelo not giving Benavidez a fight. So what are you talking about? Instead of Benavidez, he went with what was the guy named Berlanga. Yeah, so that's nothing really new. That's actually pretty normal for all the weirdos out there. It's like, oh, these people are tripping. That happens all the time. All the time. It's just guys want to be extra. I'm telling y'all right now, dudes is really fanning out, being extra over the whole situation, the codes. They really showing their hand. Why are you acting extra about this situation? When it's any other fighter or a country or any other situation with Canelo or I don't see nobody talking about no race cars. Stop it. They know what time it is out here. That's what I'm saying, man. People trying to act like, oh, what code? The same one when they talking about, oh, I fight for Mexico. What does that mean? Is that a code? I fight for Mexico? Is this a what? The Olympics? Is Canelo talking about the Olympics when he says he fight for Mexico? What does that mean? I have no idea. Still haven't got any answers yet as far as somebody said they look similar. Boots is definitely just as big. They look similar. Boots is definitely just as big. Man, a lot of y'all got the same answers. Is that the same person typing all this? A lot of these answers look the same. Yeah, that's pretty creepy. So yeah, like I was saying before, people kind of expose themselves on this a little bit because people don't even know it, but they admit it. They think that Boots is better than Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz just said recently he sparred Canelo. I ain't seen nobody running around talking about, oh, it's over with. Now the guy y'all said ducking Virgil, y'all said he ducking Virgil. He ducking Virgil and he ducking Tiafimo. That's what y'all said. Now he gonna get Canelo ready. Okay. Don't Post Malone got a song called Circles? I feel like that should be playing right now. He said these Bud fans are nervous. Bud fans are nervous? If Terence Crawford go out there and do what to in a Canelo fight, lose? Canelo's already forced to actually take this fight. He has no choice. He has no other fight he can actually take. So he's already losing before he go in the ring. He has no options. This is it. So he's already losing. There's no reason to be nervous. Terence Crawford, he's a surprise to everybody else. So I don't know why anybody would be nervous. But yeah, as we can see up here, people are admitting right now, the fans last night, all that jumping around they did last night, they said that Boots Ennis sparring Canelo Alvarez is a bigger deal than Canelo sparring Virgil Ortiz. So you have Virgil Ortiz fans out here that been saying that Boots is ducking Virgil Ortiz. They're saying that Canelo is getting Boots prepared for. Canelo prepared for. Boots is getting Canelo prepared more for Terence Crawford than Virgil Ortiz. Checkmate, dog. This is checkmate, bro. Checkmate on that one. And that's just one side. It's not good to talk like that. And these dudes gonna turn around and be like, "Whoa, I'm picking I'm picking Virgil though. He must be a horrible sparring partner because you didn't think that was a big deal that Canelo sparred him." So yeah, I'm actually probably a bigger Virgil Ortiz fan than these guys are. They just forgot about Virgil Ortiz sparring Canelo. I think people just want to start mess. That's all it is. I see the play. Yeah, I definitely see the play. They're just kicking up dust right now. It ain't nothing serious. You said Canelo's gonna stop Bud anyways. I mean, look, anything can happen in a fight. It definitely can. Anything can happen. But my thing is this getting and this is a good question to ask. Because some people were saying this last night. Oh, this is getting boots ready for Virgil Ortiz. Is it? Is Canelo getting boots ready for Virgil Ortiz? So 3 weeks before you fighting Crawford, do people think that's going on? He said, bro started watching boxing after the Spence fight. No wonder you're saying absolutely nothing. Oh, I ain't started saying absolutely nothing yet. Wait until I start talking about when Terence Crawford was talking about Canelo and Spence fighting. Because Spence ain't go out there and fight Canelo and beg for a payday like the rest of these guys. And these people talking about sparring. Spence could have been out here trying to get a real fight with Canelo right now. And we got people out here talking about a sparring match. Ah, yeah. Earl Spence could have went out there and fought Canelo and did like the rest of these guys and went around Terence Crawford. But we see what's going on right now. Earl Spence is really the only fighter to turn down a Canelo payday or a chance at one. Only fighter I know. And that's a fact. Anybody want to look it up? Look it up. Do your homework. Only fighter to turn down a Canelo payday. Uh, I don't know. Technically, they say Manny Pacquiao, but can't really prove that. But Earl Spence, yes, absolutely, definitely could have made that happen. At the time, he was the biggest name in boxing. Besides, he was doing more numbers than Tank. So don't even. Before that Ryan Garcia fight, he was doing way more numbers, and that was just one fight. Dude was definitely doing numbers. So he could have definitely got a Canelo fight. We already know this. You said Jamal Charlo turned down a Canelo fight. Jamal Charlo has turned down every fight. He's turned down his career. Jamal Charlo ain't had no legs his last fight. Whatever he doing, it's going bad right now. We talking about guys who actually being talked about in real fights. Not not Jamal Charlo. Spencer's actually being talked about in mega fights. He actually got in car wrecks and still got in the ring still. We're not talking about guys who got their heart broken, now they can't get in the ring. We're talking about guys who actually had their car flipped a couple of times, then got in the ring. Different kind of fighters. And still didn't chase a Canelo payday. But yeah, nobody want to talk about how Jaron Ennis is bigger than Canelo. So when everybody talking about what code y'all talking about? The code that you're on. Why is everybody on code right now? They don't want to talk about they talk about every boxer's size and how big every boxer is. I was even the person who put out a video talking about Jaron Ennis don't look like he drained to me. He looks like he's good at 47. He don't look drained like I've seen worse. Now all of a sudden these same people see this dude bigger than Canelo. So y'all want a Terence Crawford to fight a dude who's bigger than Canelo? When y'all gonna start talking about that? Cause y'all be talking about Benavidez every time he eat a sandwich, how much he weigh and cruiserweight this. We ain't gonna talk about the size. Everybody biased. Everybody biased, and this gonna prove it right now. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Everybody finna get exposed behind this right now. This little situation, everybody finna get exposed. I might, hey, maybe even me. I don't know what I just said. We gonna find out. Everybody finna get exposed though. Cause they've been talking about guys' size for the last year, and I told people last year that's a big mistake. Don't want to do that. Don't call guys weight bullies. Everybody got different situations when it comes to weight in boxing. Don't open up those can of worms. It's over with now. So the conversation I got right now is everybody was saying Terence Crawford don't need to go up 2 weight classes to fight a guy who's too big, and is he gonna take the punches, and how he gonna take Jaron Ennis punches if he's bigger than Canelo? If Jaron Ennis is bigger than Canelo, should he be trying to fight guys who's bigger than Canelo? I ain't even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. Not even gonna go there. Talking about what? Look at that code. What you talking about? What? What these dudes talking about? Man, what are these dudes talking about? I hope every person who talking about what code, they better say something about their weight. They better say something about uh Jaron Ennis being bigger than Canelo Alvarez. Everybody who talking about what code and what code, they better talk about Jaron Ennis being bigger than Canelo Alvarez. That's all I'm gonna say. Straight up. I'm looking at everybody crazy. They don't bring that up. I'm telling you that right now. If you don't bring up the fact that he's bigger than Canelo Alvarez, and people have said everything about Crawford, even talked about the man's mama. I done seen dudes get 500,000 views on YouTube talking about this dude's mom. They don't bring up the fact that this dude bigger than Canelo. Everybody getting exposed right now. Right now. They want to talk about everything in boxing and make it normal. Let's talk about weight, make that normal. Let's talk about sparring and make that normal. Then when it get normal, oh, it's a problem when we start talking about it. Man, don't tell me when to talk about something that's already been discussed. We just switching the names out at this point. Nah, it ain't cool no more. No, that's not it. On paper right now, and I'm gonna say this again. On paper right now, Earl Spencer's the only fighter that you can prove that it turned down a Canelo Alvarez payday. And dudes is out here talking about some cash from sparring. These people don't know what's going on out here and who really saving boxing. They talking about cash from Sparring. And Earl Spence turned down millions and opportunities to fight Canelo and other people as well, I'm pretty sure. Man ain't fought in 2 years, still one of the most talked about names as far as big fights. We still trying to get guys to fight a champion. But yeah, all that stuff the dudes are talking about, it's a backhand, bro. It's backhanded, bro. It's really a spit in the face. The way some of these people talking or reacting to certain things, it's really a middle finger to the face. It's just total disrespect because they know exactly what you're talking about. They act like they don't care about it, but then they speaking on it, which means they do care about it because there's a million other things you could talk about that can make a difference besides reacting to somebody else reacting to something that's reacting to something. Yeah, that's crazy to me though. Well, you ain't gonna see nobody on. We gonna see how many people address that though. I'm looking at it now. Terence Crawford be talked about as far as size being too small and Benavidez size be talked about. Haney. We gonna stop there or we gonna keep going? What's up? Is guys superstars or? Cause I'm one of them people that just sit back and be like, nah, I don't talk about no weight when it don't really matter. Every situation different. But right now it looks like every situation is different. Yeah, it is. It is. They gonna really run around here talking about Terence Crawford duck the dude who's bigger than Canelo. What are these dudes talking about? He had to do it. You must. They talking about he need to get adjusted. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm dead serious. Not trying to be funny. I'm not trolling. None of that. If anybody knows me, or no, don't know me personally, but as far as know what I talk about on here, I'm not trolling. I'm sticking to the facts. I'm just keeping it real. The things that people talk about to break down Terence Crawford, just to bring him down to the level of where Jaron Ennis at, I've seen, is extreme, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Well, why he ain't doing this and why he ain't doing that? And then critiquing every move this man makes that has nothing to do with what Jaron Ennis is doing. The man has had fights. Listen to the fights that Jaron Ennis was just named with. Terence Crawford has been gone from 47, 2 years, right? Look at all the names that Jaron Ennis was just named with recently. Y'all think Terence Crawford had those opportunities? That Haney, Tiafimo, who was just uh, saying monkey stuff recently, who should have definitely been in the ring with him. Uh, just look at the names. Brian Norman. When Terence Crawford got to 47, they was like, bro, he can't even beat nobody at 47. He can't hang with nobody at 47. So we already letting dudes, and I'm being real when I say this, we already letting dudes get hyped up before they do anything. By the time Terence Crawford had a name, he was already a champion, doing stuff. Before dudes was even champions, doing stuff and taking out other names. People are already like, yeah, they deserve this, and they got to get paid this and this. And fans is like, okay, that's cool. But now it's getting extreme now. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, come on, man. For real. Dudes ain't even put on no real fights to really celebrate like that. And people talking about some the fans don't understand people trying to get paid. What? Man, you don't get out of here with that. Man, bro, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. How do we fans not know that guys are trying to get paid? And we sitting up here every weekend trying to do pay-per-views. Yeah, everybody can't get the pay-per-view, but dudes are trying to get the pay-per-view though. Don't nobody want to watch no skipping pay-per-view. Man, please. Bro, you gotta look at dudes' resumes. At a certain point, fighters back in the day, and then what these older fighters be saying? These older fighters be the ones talking about dudes is getting paid too much. You didn't see nobody jumping up talking about some, yeah, these new guys. As far as fans, it was mostly well, people was mad about the turkey card earlier this year, but as far as the fans overall, they ain't been complaining about how much somebody been getting paid. They just trying to see a fight. Now people trying to bring up excuses why things are happening. Oh, this guy's trying to get paid. I've never had to worry about this type of stuff. Why do I got to be an accountant to be a boxing fan? I just want to be I just want to watch the fight. I got to do my own taxes. Now I got to do this dude taxes before I watch the fight to figure out why this is going on. I don't care. Why do people not understand that, man? We don't care. Even the sparring that's going on with Jaron Ennis, to be honest with you, I don't really care. Jaron Ennis always been in the ring with a lot of people. Do I really care like that? Halfway, but not really. I'm more so looking at people's reactions. I'm just looking. I'm like, why do you care though? If anybody cares about his sparring, like, why do you care? He should have fought the guy Tyez yesterday. Should be caring about that. I was thinking more about that. I'm like, dang, I wish Ennis would have gotten in the ring with Tyez. These dudes is thinking about how somebody feel about a sparring. Man, so what? Did anybody sit around here and care about how people felt before that when Devin Haney got that sparring put out of him versus Tank before he fought Ryan Garcia? Boots would never have a level of humiliation like that. Please quit trying to act like it's the same type of thing because people are making a couple of comments about if somebody was on code or not. He'll never be humiliated like they tried to do Haney a couple of weeks before he fight Ryan. Yeah, put the sparring video out of him and Tank. These dudes extreme, bro. They fanning out, man. It's getting way too extreme, bro. The, the level of fanning out is at an all-time high. For real, for real. It's at an all-time high. It's bad. Dudes is already making millions fighting guys with 15 fights, and people is like, okay, good matchup. But now you gotta agree with everything and like it. Man, get out of here. Shut up. And ain't nobody gonna talk about this dude being bigger than Canelo. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. I definitely rock with Boots Ennis. What I'm saying ain't gonna affect his career. He still got skills. Still can do things most guys can't do in the ring. So what I say ain't gonna change nothing. He's still gonna be a beast no matter what. But the way I look at things, this man being bigger than Canelo right now, technically, everybody said that I shouldn't be on code. So I'm gonna have to be on code in order to ignore that he's bigger than Canelo Alvarez right now. So for the next however long boost boxes for the next 10 years, 10, 15 years, I'm gonna have to ignore that he's bigger than Canelo right now. So everybody who asks, hey, what code, that code. So now I'm gonna have to play dumb. I'm gonna have to be Ed and Eddie to sit up here and act like, okay, 54, yeah, let's go. So everybody who reacting, bro, cut it out, bro. Like, have a real reaction. Like, okay, please. Have a real reaction. These dudes talking about code, like they don't even know what people talking about. Just worrying about the wrong thing. Just worry about boxing, man. We got so many fights coming up. Like, let's just figure that out real quick. But yeah, the sparring with Canelo, in my eyes, like I said last night, who knows if that's going to benefit Boots? A lot of guys don't like sparring, especially Canelo. He don't just spar anybody because he don't want to pass around tips and hints like that. Usually he spars guys that he makes sure that he's not going to get in a ring with those guys most of the time. So people try to make it seem like, oh well, so technically if I Boots sparring this guy, that means Boots ain't gonna never fight Canelo. What if Canelo say next year around March or April, he say, you know what, I was gonna fight Boots, but me and him ended up sparring, so nah, I ain't gonna fight him. We was gonna be next though. I would have fought Boots next. I was actually thinking about that fight, but since me and him sparred already, I don't fight sparring partners. Yeah, so I would have fought him, but yeah, we got in the ring already. While everybody clapping their hands, they probably just blew a fight. Everybody like, yeah, we probably just blew a Canelo versus Boots fight just to see him get ready for Crawford. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if they had a chance of fighting, it ain't gonna never happen now. Guaranteed. That fight will never happen. If Boots Ennis is better than Terence Crawford, that fight will never happen now. It wouldn't be a reason. It'll never happen. So the only thing you will see is probably Virgil Ortiz versus Boots, unless people gonna hold hope out there for Crawford versus Boots, but I don't think that fight gonna happen. But the man is the size right now. That's a red flag. Really is. Because technically, people, if they wanted to be petty, they can say, "Hey, man, how is Terence Crawford gonna fight this guy ever?" And he's bigger than Canelo. Not taller, but he's bigger. It's like, man, he is physically bigger than Canelo. I don't know, man. I don't know how people gonna answer this one. Because Virgil ain't that big at 54 like that. I ain't gonna say walking around how big he is. I don't know. I'll just be saying something. So I definitely don't know. So I can't compare those two. Like, just, but with Canelo right there, He looks huge. He looks huge next to Hernandez. That's what kind of caught me off guard at first. I wasn't looking at him and Canelo compared. I was looking at him and Hernandez, and I was like, all right, Hernandez is 160. He's a little more wide, but man, looks like Boots is bigger than him. Because there was another picture, and I'm like, maybe Boots just look big because he's, flexing his biceps. Like, oh, he just looked big because of that. Nah, this dude is huge. Definitely huge. Terence Crawford fighting him would have been wild. Would have been a good fight, but the size difference definitely would have proved a lot. Because no way Terence Crawford is bigger than him or close to being that Boots' size. Like, even with people saying, yeah, he's too small for Canelo, he's too small for Boots. I'm gonna be honest with you. I probably never said that before. Terence Crawford is too small for Boots. Not saying that he probably couldn't do nothing in the ring, but physically, he can't hold up next to Boots physically. Look how big Boots is. I think Boots will make Triple G look small in his prime. Now Triple G was pretty big at a certain point. I'll say he probably close to the same size as Triple G in his prime. Triple G was pretty big. But I don't know, man. Boots is big in this picture. But would that be examined? Will they look at that and break that down? Possibly no. I'm saying this now because when he gets in the ring with Virgil, I'm probably not gonna spend too much time on it, but probably not even gonna think about it that much. But just in the case of him and Terence Crawford and Canelo, that's a huge size difference, man. Huge. But I think Canelo will be able to handle a guy that size, so he's not really tripping over it. But I didn't know he was bigger than Canelo, though. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Didn't really realize that until probably earlier today. But it's a huge size difference. And even when Crawford starts to work out, he can be big like that, kind of or close to it. But when he's active, he's not really holding on weight like that. Boots got a different kind of frame too, but and while you're fighting, your weight does change. So you can be at 47 and still be gaining weight, getting bigger. That does happen. Boots used to be a skinny guy. He used to be very skinny. But yeah, Terence Crawford, if he would have fought Boots and then Canelo, man, come on, man. And then probably a couple of more guys at 54. Those some tough fights. Yeah, fighting Boots right now is not an easy fight for a guy at 38, man. Like the expectations for Crawford is insane, man. It might be higher than the Floyd Mayweather. They were saying, yeah, Floyd fight Pacquiao, but it wasn't no dudes walking around like Boots that Floyd could fight. A Maidana? Nah, he's not like Boots. Oh yeah, he says Canelo was. He said Boots' brother was is bigger than him, and he was sparring them, and Canelo was sparring them in 2012. Yeah, I didn't know too much about that until recently. I think I probably heard something about it, but wasn't really paying attention. I did hear about something about his brother in the past, though. Yeah, Boo should definitely be in the ring with a Genovic or somebody. Not saying because of the size, but I think he could definitely hold his own. I would be in that mode, kind of like what Canelo was. We was going from 54 to 60. Yeah, that'd be some. I would have took like a lower level fight at 60. Took like a mid level fight at 54. Those would have been the two tune-ups right there. Oh yeah, Paul Williams. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, nobody wanted to smoke with Terence Crawford though. There's a couple of guys that ducked Terence Crawford that I noticed over time. I'm like, oh, okay. It's a few guys that duck him. That man is the most ducked fighter of this generation. I can't even lie about it. He's the most avoided fighter. Even if you look at all the excuses that people have when it comes to fighting Terence Crawford, the most avoided fighter. Because when Lomachenko came out, he was technically a 35 that went to 30. And him and Crawford was right there. He never thought about it. And maybe Loma could have got Crawford early on before he started to hit that stride. Because Crawford wasn't really fighting a certain level. Loma he probably could have got him early, but he knew he was a threat. Yeah, Loma got the fast hands though. Always got a chance. Movement. Oh, you said Canelo was signed to fight him? I never knew that. I didn't know that was a fight he had signed when he got in the car accident. I mean the motorcycle accident. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, back then Canelo was sparring a lot of guys. I seen recently that Canelo was sparring Jack Catterall with Floyd. I didn't even know that. It's like 2015. They had Catterall out there sparring. Yeah, it's been a lot of guys that went through those sparring sessions. But Canelo's smart with his sparring sessions though. He don't let just anybody in. And he don't let their information get out. It's not a lot of elite fighters he's gonna end up sparring. That's why with that connection that Boost got with his brother, that's probably the only reason why Canelo even sparred. If it was anybody else, he probably wouldn't have done it. He don't let too much information get out of the camp, so Canelo try to stay away from just let anybody around. Even Benavidez said it. He said he was supposed to spar Canelo around the time that him and Triple G was sparring. He said, I guess Canelo found out that me and Triple G was sparring. And he thought I'll probably say something or give some tips. But he was like, nah, I'm just looking for some work. But he ended up canceling the sparring session. So yeah, Canelo, he doesn't just spar anybody. That's why a lot of guys you don't see too many new faces popping up. I know in the past he had Joe Son James, who fought Lester Martinez recently. Beko, who fought Morrell. Yeah, a few other guys too. I can't remember. Yeah, he got to chase that smoke now. I think now with Crawford accepting that fight, I think the only fight that really motivated Canelo was Terence Crawford. I don't know how much he's motivated to fight Benavidez, but from what Canelo said the last couple of years, the only fight he actually been motivated to be in was Terence Crawford. He's actually excited to have this fight, to be honest with you. He looks at Terence Crawford like a great fighter. I know he said stuff about his resume, but he looks at Terence Crawford as like an all-time great, to be honest with you. Canelo don't usually give out compliments like he gave Terence Crawford, as far as like how big the fight is for him and what it means for him. Yeah, this fight means a lot. That's why I'm definitely not surprised with the sparring. He's doing everything he needs to try to get this win. It's gonna be an action-packed fight though. Different kind of styles. I don't know if we really seen Canelo fight this style. Lara, he kind of moves a little bit more than Crawford. Haven't really seen Canelo against this style. I don't think Triple G punches as much as Crawford does. You said Loma was a 126? No, when Loma came out the amateurs, he was 135. Yeah, he was definitely 135. He might have fought at 126, but he was definitely 135 though. He said Canelo overrated and Bud gonna expose because Loma is bigger than Pacquiao and Tank and Lamont Roach. He said Canelo overrated and Bud gonna expose him. Shout out to Jose. What's going on, Jose? I want to see. You know what I want to see from Canelo? I want to see how different he actually fights. You know, as far as going all out, he's gonna be taking certain punches he never takes. He's gonna go all out. I'm telling you. Because one thing about Canelo, I always say is, if he had another chance, because he gets in these fights with like Bivol and Mayweather, didn't let his hands go at certain times, and is he gonna be ready the next time that happens? That's kind of what I'm looking for. He said Crawford really gonna lower his he gonna be on. uh, he said he gonna load him up. He said who did Crawford beat? That was a great fighter, and he in his prime. I think Gamboa. Crawford got a decent resume, especially compared to these guys now. These guys now got some trash resumes. Gamboa. Um, who else? I like Felix Diaz. Y'all don't know who he is though. Felix Diaz was a beast. People gonna be like, oh, that guy. Felix Diaz was a problem before Crawford fought him. He was supposed to be the next Gamboa. He was supposed to be like a Gamboa slash De Los Santos. Crawford ended careers, man. Victor Postall. Yeah, he fought Postall early. Yeah, Postall was definitely one. But if you look at it though, a lot of these guys after they fight Terence Crawford, they not walking in there the same, bro. Like look at a lot of these guys. Even Jeff Horn, they're not in the. A lot of people not admitting it, but if you listen to these boxers, I'm gonna name a couple of them right now. Go listen to recent interviews with Majamov, not Spence, but I'll say not Abernesian, probably even a Porter, Kilbrook, Mean Machine, Amir Khan, Benavidez Jr., uh, Jeff Horn. Go listen to all those guys talk about Crawford recently. Bro, they're talking like this dude went in the ring and they weren't the same when they got in the ring. The way they're explaining how Canelo needs to prepare is most of the guys Crawford walks in the ring with, they usually end their career as soon as they fight him or right after that. It's a lot of guys he's retiring. This is not a Charlo fight. This ain't no Berlanga or Munguia. This dude is retiring people. Matter of fact, he's retiring guys that's still young and in their prime. And guys ain't looking the same no more after they get out the ring with them. They fight one or two more fights, they get stopped. They like, oh my God, I never got stopped before. Yeah, because you just got in a fight with Terence Crawford and it ain't gonna be the same no more after that. That's what you gotta realize. You think in the boxing world that people don't know that guys have been fighting Terence Crawford for the last 10 years and these guys can't stay off the canvas or they continue to get dropped? If you look at Terence Crawford's whole resume, everybody's not the same after they got in the ring with him. They usually retire soon. Look at Majamov. He got in the ring with Virgil Ortiz. He said he was sick or whatever, but then he said his shoulder was messed up, his leg was messed up, his shoulder. So when he got in the ring, so when Majamov got in the ring with Terence Crawford, this dude had a torn shoulder, his leg was messed up. This dude had to have like 2 or 3 surgeries or something. So he's right now he's healing from. So when he fought Virgil Ortiz, he already had a messed up shoulder and everything from fighting Terence Crawford. And people like, Terence Crawford went the distance with a trash fighter. And this dude walking around with a torn shoulder and all that, trying to fight Virgil Ortiz. Terence Crawford has a history of destroying human beings after they get out the ring with him. It's a guarantee that you will not be the same. And you won't get your money back. I mean, you can look it up. What's up, PD? What's up, dog? You can look it up, man. This man is destroying guys' careers. Canelo doing the same thing, but it's not the same as Terence Crawford. I think a lot of these guys that Canelo fighting is not really motivated after they get paid. They definitely getting beat up bad, but they're not really motivated. Yeah, I think it's more of a payday thing. I definitely think so because if you look back at Canelo when he fought people like when he fought Liam Smith still continued to fight. Yeah, you had a lot of guys still continue to fight, man. I know Rocky Fielding retired recently. You got Cutler Smith still going. You got Plant still going. So you got a lot of guys that Canelo recently fought that's still going. These guys Crawford fighting, they're not continuing their career. Their career is over. They're fighting 1 or 2 more times after they fight Terence Crawford. And it's over. And it's not because of a big payday. Like he's in the careers that have been going on for 30, 40 years. That's why it's a little different when people say, oh, Canelo's going to do this. He'll be the first one, actually. That would actually be a miracle if he was able to go in there and compete with a guy who's been destroying people's careers. Yeah, I think with other guys, because if you look at Canelo, he's technically not doing that. I would say the confidence is more than anything. He's taking the confidence away. He's definitely breaking guys down. Well, I wouldn't say he's not doing it. I think he is doing it, but I think the money more effective than the actual damage that these guys are getting. Because I can't lie though, Canelo has a decent little resume. You know, with him throwing Bivol in there, Southpaw, that's pretty difficult. But yeah, he's not putting on the same kind of damage though. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. He did put some good damage on Berlanga and Munguia, but the William Skull fight hurt him bad. As far as Charlo, I don't think he hurt Charlo as far as damage. I just think Charlo had a respect issue. A lot of people think that too. A lot of people said that he could have went a lot harder in that fight. Trust me, a lot of people said that. So a lot of people see that as far as the Charlo situation. But with John Ryder, yeah, he definitely finished John Ryder off. By the time Munguia knocked out John Ryder, he was already done. And Canelo did that with like six rounds of work. By the time it was like the seventh, eighth round, his arm was already messed up. Even a guy like Triple G was getting older, but I will say, after Triple G got in the ring with Canelo, he slowed down pretty fast for a guy who's known for being active. Yeah, Triple G slowed down pretty fast. When I seen him that last Canelo fight, I was like, man. The Dervinchenko fight, you can see it. Even when he fought Steve Rose and he stopped him early, I can kind of see like maybe it was Canelo fight, I don't know. But then it could have been a couple of things. Like dude was getting bigger. And as I said before, he wasn't really moving up. But yeah, Canelo was definitely doing some damage, man. Even Jacob slowed down a little bit after that. He wasn't active enough, but he was still older already. But I don't know, man. You never know when it comes to that situation. He said I can think of at least 15 Mexicans with a better resume than Canelo. Yeah, his resume is not really aging well. I knew that was gonna happen because I felt like Canelo, if he would have fought both Charlos and Andre, sometimes if you can fight guys like that early, that brings the attention to the fighters, and that would have made Charlo and those guys' resumes bigger. Just like how people say, um, "Oh, look at who that guy fought." You know, when Dubois start beating certain guys, that makes other guys' resumes look better. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, people be sleeping on those guys' resumes though. Like right now, Bam, the way his resume coming together, not gonna lie, he been fighting some guys lately. Gotta give him credit. And then Zerto, he about to fight Benavidez soon. If Zerto fight Benavidez, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna start looking towards his resume being better than Canelo's. If Zepeda start putting some more names on there, and he turns out to be a guy who's just fighting anybody, he should be looking for the smoke soon. He'll have a chance. Espinoza, we gotta see. They kind of slowing him down right now with this whole Inouye situation. Yeah, Pitbull, when it's all said and done, I don't know, man. Pitbull might have one of those resumes. The dude just took a Mexican that nobody knew and had fight of the year, so Pitbull might be up there. Shoot, I did name close to 8 of them just then. But when it's all said and done, because a lot of those guys young right now. But we got to see as far as with Canelo, man. I think that him sparring Boots, he gonna take that information a long way, man. He just sparred Virgil Ortiz recently. As far as sparring, I think he gonna be good as far as sparring, even before the Boots sparring. But the guys he's sparring as far as size, he's getting ready for an animal. You would think that he'll be sparring like smaller guys, but he's been sparring some animals, some guys who are pretty big. They got some big 160s walking around right now, and 54s. Because most of the guys he's sparring is actually bigger than him. Oh yeah, you got guys like Mendoza. I think Ramos, he got a chance. Fundora, when it's all said and done, he got a chance. Virgil. Jose said 15. I don't know. When it's all said and done with Turkey, it could be 15 though. He said Bam on their way out. He said Bam fight dudes on their way out. He said Canelo prepared for all out warfare. Yeah, Canelo gonna let them hands go. He's definitely gonna let them hands go. I think he's gonna have more pressure on him to let his hands go than any situation or any other fight. I think he's definitely prepared for that. Because with the skull fight, the movement, yeah, if I'm Crawford, I'm gonna use that to my advantage, but I would try to make sure that he's punching most of the fight. That's kind of how you get Canelo out of his game. You got to keep a hand in his face really the whole fight. That's the thing I seen most from Bivol. He just kept punching Canelo, so Canelo couldn't really set himself up as far as set his feet, get comfortable, had him on the ropes. Yeah, Crawford got to do that, man. Got to be super athletic in this fight. We know Canelo he gonna rely on the power, which he should, because that's his advantage. But he gonna try to go in there and box though. And fight on the inside. I think this fight between Crawford and Canelo could look like Joshua and Ruiz without the knockdowns though. It could be some knockdowns, but if it's no knockdowns, it'll look like Joshua Ruiz the first fight. I know people will say that's a heavyweight fight, but same kind of, I don't know, it's kind of the same type of matchup in certain ways. Because I think the advantages that Canelo have is the same ones that Ruiz had against Joshua. But then the same advantages Joshua had against Ruiz, I think that's what Crawford has against Canelo. But the only thing I would say that's different is I think Crawford can have an advantage in the inside fighting. I think he's possibly a better inside fighter than Canelo, but he takes a lot of risk, so he'll probably open himself up. That's what I'm kind of worried about. Crawford opens himself up once or twice in the rounds. Don't really like. It's not that long, but it's been caught a couple of times with it. But I think him fighting the guy Majramov was actually a good fight to have before he fought Canelo. I seen the guy Majramov actually had a lot of similar things he does to Canelo as far as how he throws certain punches. Yeah, it's gonna be a good style matchup though. Yeah, he dropped Joshua that first fight. PD, he definitely dropped Joshua that first fight and stopped him. He said Canelo got on the XLT, Boots wearing the medium. Yeah, I was thinking that too. But when I seen the other picture of Hernandez, because I wasn't actually looking at Canelo and Boots. I was looking at Hernandez early in the week, and I was like, Hernandez looked kind of big, but I was like, he's tall though. But then I seen Hernandez and Boots next to each other like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, man, Boots look like he's bigger than Hernandez. But I'm not sure if he is. But without him flexing his biceps, he's still a big guy. What's up, Saba? He said Marjamal was Bibble's main sparring partner for Canelo. For Bud, he got the same tune-up for Canelo. Wow, that's a good tip to know. Appreciate that, Saba. Yeah, Yanela look like a cruiserweight dog. For 160, I don't know why I've been stuck on that. I'm like, man, he looks huge. I was looking at Yoneli compared to Canelo like a couple of days ago. I said he makes Canelo look like a shrimp. And I said maybe because he's tall. But nah, that dude's huge. He made Kyron Davis look small. And Kyron Davis is big for his weight class. That's a big dude, man. Yeah, he is a specimen. I was saying that earlier. I was like, dang, bro, he's huge. Especially for that weight class. If you can make the weight, hey, you can make it. These guys at 154 and 160, they different now. Guys is like 6'1", 6'2". Yeah, Sabo had he definitely dropped the bomb on that one with the Bill being the sparring partner. Yeah, that definitely gonna work for Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford's gonna be prepared though. He's gonna be prepared. I think the one thing he can't really get into is getting caught with a big shot and then trying to get his lick back. It's like small stuff like that I'm worried about. Because he is fighting Canelo, so maybe he'll try to get in front of Canelo and do some different things. You never know. Terence Crawford could get in front of Canelo and be like, hey, let me try something new. Just might be the wrong time. That's the only thing I'm worried about. As far as how they match up, I think they both great fighters, so it's gonna be close regardless. Yeah, Boost is big for 54. I don't know how big he's gonna be compared to Virgil when they get in the ring, but man, he's huge. Yeah, I think Boost will be a beast at 160. I think when it's all said and done, he might be at 160. Yeah, I think he'll be a beast at 160. Adamas looked good at 160, better than he did at 154. Yeah, regroup for the next round. You right, PD. They're gonna have to. Yeah, I don't want Crawford trying to go out there and improve nothing. Cause you know Canelo's gonna have the crowd going crazy with certain punches. That's just how it goes for him. That crowd gonna be a little different than it was for Spence. When Spence was fighting, it was just the energy was just high the whole time. It's gonna be the same way against in the fight with Canelo and Crawford, but it'll probably be close to what Floyd and Pacquiao was as far as the reactions to the punches. If y'all go back and watch Pacquiao versus Mayweather, look at the reactions to the punches. Like the average boxer get caught off guard with the crowd going, "Whoa!" Like, yeah, that's definitely gonna catch anybody off guard. And the place is gonna be sold out, so you can only imagine. Like the place with Majramov when he fought Majramov, it wasn't sold out, but this time around, it's gonna be more people than that. So yeah, you never know, man. Not very experienced as far as in these huge mega fights like Canelo. So yeah, he definitely gonna have the edge with that. I think Canelo just getting used to the speed and everything else right now. What's up, Auntie Tony Way boxing? He said Canelo better not F around and lose this fight because there's gonna be some. Yeah, I know, man. If he lose this fight, bro, I think he's still gonna be all right. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he'll still be all right because there's so many names around his division. I think he'll still be all right. It's just that if Canelo want to continue to box, though, I don't know if he still wants to continue to box. The way I look at it, this is the only fight that really motivates him. I don't know if he'll fight a Terence Crawford, then get motivated to fight a Shiraz or somebody right now. Yeah, I don't know what type of fights he's gonna want to take after he fights a guy like Terence Crawford. Could fight Bivol. You never know. Could fight Bivol. The way that things lining up right now with Bitter Biv, it could that could happen. But I don't know. It looks like a stretch at this point. Depends on what Turkey line up. But they got a deal in place. They definitely have a deal in place. But you know how boxing is. It might be a better name by the time next year comes around. What's up, Joseph Baylor? What's going on? Oh yeah, Terence Crawford definitely ready right now. Yeah, sparring Lester Martinez and Rodriguez too. Yeah, Rodriguez was definitely talking about that recently. Yeah, Lester Martinez gonna be ready. Yeah, that's a hard fight, man. I want to roll with Martinez on that fight. I picked ability to lose his last fight. I'm like, man, I don't know if he's gonna lose the next one. I want to roll with Martinez, man, because I like how Martinez looked already compared to Billy in that Gregor fight. So, but I don't know. And Billy been looking better his last couple of fights. He's been getting better. And Martinez, he only fought like what once or twice the last 12 months. I think he only fought once. He said until Boots get hit by a puncher in that prime. Yeah, that's what we waiting on. We waiting to see him get hit by a real puncher. I don't think Stanionis was the type of puncher that Virgil Ortiz is, and we definitely waiting on that. They putting the pressure on him to make the fight next year, though. Yeah, he's definitely not the puncher that got Lima. He's not gonna be the type of puncher. I think the guy that Taez was fighting last night, man, that Boost would have jumped in the ring with one of those guys. That's the type of fight I was looking for. But I think the guys Taez and Aves, the guys who fought last night, I think both of those guys are better than the Lima guy that's coming up. He's definitely not punching like that. Yeah, he's definitely not punching like that, man. Those we seen those guys last night at 54, and those aren't big name boxers at 54. Those guys is cracking at 54. 54 got some big time punchers. I'm telling y'all. If anybody seen that Taez fight last night, and definitely got to give credit to MVP Promotions. That was a good fight card. I seen Jake Paul put on the last two or three fight cards. Been pretty good. Very entertaining. That was a real fight last night. A real fight. That's something people would have paid for last night. That was a real fight. But that's why Jaron Ennis at 54 is getting tune-ups, man. These dudes at 54 is not playing. A lot of these guys been waiting 5, 6, 7, 8 years to get a chance at a belt. That guy last night was waiting probably 15 years to get a chance at a belt last night. And Tayyad just going in there, yeah, I'm finna go through the motions, and ended up getting beat up. That's one thing that's going on in boxing right now that Turkey Al-Sheik is having an effect on. What's up, J man? Yeah, Tayyad's got a chin, bro. I was like, no way he gonna make it 12 rounds. And this was like the ninth round. I said he ain't going 12. That dude, he went 12. I think he just slept on the dude last night, to be honest with you. But that dude at base, he came to fight. No matter how many times they would have had that fight last night, he would have won. Tayyad just, I don't know. He didn't understand the moment. That dude came to fight for that belt, man. I haven't even watched the main event, man. I was gonna go live for it, but I was like, man, I'm gonna just do this live stream about the sparring. I still gotta watch the main event. I actually like Cardova though. He one of my favorite fighters. Cardova always come to fight. It looked like he got robbed again last night. But I like Rivera too, Yanko Rivera. He said how crazy it is that Fernando Vargas Jr., who only fought C-level fighters, the co-main event, and Lester and Billy. That's wild. They said not Lester and Billy. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But then when you look at it, Cullen Walsh, he's like a Dana White fighter, and then uh, you got Fernando. He's kind of like the star power guy because they did have Tank Davis. He was like that big name they had when they had McGregor and Mayweather. And you got to realize too, like Dana White. I'll give you a hint on this one. Dana White, he was like he did the same thing when they had the McGregor and Mayweather card. If you go back and look at the names like on the fight card, it was people we know now, but it wasn't like a whole bunch of big names. It wasn't like a Fernando Vargas Jr. on there. It was, but those guys weren't known like that. They had like Badu Jack. Kevin Newman. But you know, people remember Tank being on that card, but it wasn't like a whole bunch of big names. They usually don't have big names on these big cards like that. And I think they did it on purpose because they want the smaller, lower level guys like Vargas Jr. They want those guys to get an opportunity to showcase themselves as far as in boxing. Because this right here, you're not going to have a bigger fight. And the reason they're doing that is because you're not going to have a bigger fight than Canelo and Crawford for a while in boxing. So they want to use this time now to promote the guys who's coming after Canelo and Crawford. So basically, when Canelo and Crawford hang it up, who are the guys we don't know right now that could possibly be in the mix with some big fights over the next 5 years, 10 years? So they're just throwing names on there. Cullen Walsh, Fernando Vargas Jr., Lester Martinez, and Billy. These are all like guys who's upper 20s, mid 20s. Yeah, it's just a strategy they're going with. I actually kind of figured they was going to do that because Nakatani, he was a name they tried to talk about. Then they was talking about uh, even Jaron Anderson recently. These are all like younger names, you know what I'm saying? No older guys. Not really a lot of guys who's 35, 36. So yeah, it's gonna look bad, but these are young guys though. Like a lot of these guys, they might not ever be on a card this big, so gonna be some different kind of fights. It happens a lot. The cards don't really look that good, so I understand why people looking at them like it's trash. Definitely looks like it's trash, but sometimes these be the best fights. You know what I'm saying? Like the fight last night with Tyez, that wasn't supposed to be a big fight. Ended up being a big fight. So that's kind of how I look at it. He said he fought like a drunk last night. I didn't watch it yet. He said he fought like a drunk. Yeah, I couldn't understand it. I'm like, from what I seen, I said, doesn't look like a clean boxing going on. Looked like a lot of action, but it looked like it was sloppy. I didn't get to watch it yet. That's why I haven't said anything about it. I only watched the Tyaz fight, and then that was it. I wanted to watch the main event bad. I was kind of thrown off because I thought the main event was going to be the co-main event. Yeah, the undercard definitely weak though. Yeah, because you remember Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney had an undercard that was, man, people said that was the weakest undercard of all time, and it ended up being a entertaining fight card. Yeah, it happens, man. You said it was headbutts. Dang, I'm surprised they didn't have any cuts like that. Well, they probably did. He had a lot of headbutts last night. Wow, those guys usually let their hands go, but Cordova he does lean over, so yeah, no wonder they call it a draw. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch that. Oh, so y'all saying I ain't missed nothing. Dang, I'm glad I ain't watch it then. I was upset I missed that fight last night. I was like, man, I should have watched it. I know I ain't had the energy to watch it though. Dang. I thought that was gonna be an action packed fight. That's the fight I was actually waiting on. That's the fight I was actually waiting on. That's crazy. This dude, it was doing all that holding during the fight. Rabbit punches, that's crazy. And those guys usually have action-packed fights, man. You don't see Cordova and Rivera in a boring fight or where it's just sloppy. Yeah, that was a bad style matchup. They can't do that again. And then Cordova, he hasn't fought since I think since the Fundora Tim Tszyu fight, the first one. So he definitely was sloppy. Dang, and he lost 2 points. Oh yeah, that's why you lost. This dude was holding Rivera the whole time. Yeah, he was out of shape and everything. That's sloppy. Yeah, no activity. He turned into. That's the same thing, kind of like with I wouldn't say like Caleb Plant, but the activity though. These dudes going in there fighting sloppy recently, and they fight a lot better than that. Yeah, Canelo doing a whole lot, man. With a dude who jumping from 47, one fight at 54. Man, Canelo is doing everything he can to make this fight close on paper. Cause right now the odds is it's close, but it's getting closer as like even this move right here. I'm gonna tell y'all why. This move right here, people looking at it now as if Canelo needs to do this. You know what I'm saying? Saying that he needs to make this move, it's like, wow, this guy's doing a lot for a 47 pounder. Yeah, I can understand why people say that. Yeah, you think it was a draw? Yeah, it probably. You think Rivera won the fight? I knew Taez was gonna lose the fight last night, like around the ninth round. I said, man, he's gonna lose this. I already knew that fight wasn't close by then. He held his own though. I knew he wasn't getting knocked out. He still had a chance, but he wasn't letting his hands go. He couldn't block that left hook. Then the right hand from a base was destroying him through that fight. Man, that was a good fight last night. I gotta watch it again. Skills pay the bills. Yeah, I think it's the same situation with Bivol. With Bivol and Usyk saying how talented Terence Crawford is, that lets you know like these guys know high level boxing. And from what I've heard, Usyk and Bivol has said that Terence Crawford's boxing ability and his IQ is untouchable right now. So I'm not really worried about his power or anything like that, or him even getting dropped. Could happen. We've seen Andre Ward get dropped. Seen a few guys get dropped. I don't think it's not going to be a big deal though. I think Canelo's fight plan is probably the biggest thing he needs to worry about. Cause like you said, Canelo said it's gonna bring the best out of me, all my tools, everything that I've never done in the boxing ring in one fight. Terence Crawford will be the person that's gonna make me do it. And we talking about a guy who has over 60 fights. He feels like even the skills and the power that Terence Crawford has will make him fight different than what Bivol and Canelo will. I mean, not Bivol and Canelo, but Bivol and Floyd. Because Bivol and Floyd, he was not really aggressive. With Terence Crawford, it sounds like he feels like he can be aggressive. He said, how were they fighting for an interim belt at 54 though? Oh, so what's going on is they have Fundora as the main champion. Hold on, that was the WBA. I'm tripping. Well, in WBA, right? I was thinking ahead on something else. Well, WBA, they had Taez right there, and they had that's why I said Boots Ennis. He was a super champion. He could have went for the belt last night. The guy at base was a fill-in because they were expecting Boots Ennis to fight last night, possibly not last night, but fight against the guy who fought last night for the belt. So the belt they fought for last night was actually supposed to be Boots Ennis versus Taez, but he's fighting this Lima guy. So that's why they had to fight for an interim belt last night. He said, I thought Yankel won because he Angelino got 1 point taken away, got dropped. Oh, he got dropped too? Dang. Oh yeah, he lost that. One judge had Angelino winning 115, 111. Yeah, I was looking at his reaction because you remember the last fight he was in with Martinez, he felt like he got robbed. He was looking like, what? Then in this fight, he was looking like, what's going on? He was kind of happy with that draw. He didn't have a lot of damage. It looked like Rivera was probably a little more red, but he looked like he wasn't confident in that draw, though. He was happy with the draw. Rivera was looking like, man, I got a draw last night. Cordova looking like, I'm okay with that draw. When I seen that, I said, oh, yeah, I got to watch this. These judges is crazy. 115, 111 is, for a fight that has a draw in it, come on, man. 115, 111. And and the crazy part is Rivera is the A side in that fight, and he's the favorite. You would have thought they would have sided with him a lot more. He said because Bud's still the champion. As soon as Bud get in the ring with Canelo, base will be elevated to full champion. Ain't that wild, bro? He gonna be full champion, man. Still gonna be full champion. I haven't even looked at it yet. Ever since I knew the Boost fight wasn't happening, I stopped looking at it. That's crazy. This dude's gonna be full champion. He definitely deserved it though. He went out there and fought last night. Definitely gotta give him credit. He came to fight last night. Like everybody who's seen that fight last night knows he came to fight. Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking about WBC. I'm already jumping the gun because I was thinking about where Boots is now, as far as in that situation. But yeah, Taez Boots he was right there, man. He could have fought that guy. Boots could have had the WBA belt right now. He could have went to the WBA and he could have forced that Terence Crawford fight if Terence Crawford wasn't gonna drop the belt. Yeah, I never understood that though. So I was like, man, that's crazy. But yeah, Boots would have beat the brakes off of Taez last night. I don't know if Taez was not up for the fight, but the other guy was. Yeah, he ain't going back to 54. It's over. He might go back to 60 before he go to 54. But like, yeah, I'll fight some older guys at 60. Try to fight no young guys at 54. I actually could see Bud fighting Janovic or something like that though. But Janovic ain't fought Lara. Adamas ain't really moved, so I don't know. They kind of just at a stalemate right now at 60. He said he got robbed after the fight. That's crazy. I definitely gotta watch it now. Yep, Xander got in the ring and faced off with him after that. After Fedora beat that guy, Fedora was looking at Xander like he was crazy. That was actually the funniest ring face off I ever seen. Went to the locker room with him and everything. Yeah, that was hilarious. He said he got to take jamming belts. I hate that guy. He just blocked Denzel Bentley on Twitter a couple of days ago. You know, Denzel Bentley, the guy who people think beat Janovic a couple of years ago. He ended up blocking him on Twitter. I just want to see Janovic fight Lara or Adamas. It ain't got to be Adamas, but Shiraz let him off the hook, man. Shiraz had that mandatory. He got a chance to fight Adamas. He was like, man, I'm just gonna fight Adamas. I'm like, man, you could have fought Janovic or made him lose the belts, force him to 168. But he went and fought Adamas and got a draw, and that was a waste of time. That was definitely a waste of time. And people want to see that fight again, so you know it was a waste of time. They could have waited on that fight. But yeah, MVP Promotion put on a good fight card last night, though. That was very good. And they got Tyez. He should be in the ring again with somebody at 54. I think that's what's gonna make 154 great because nobody knew who Abbas was last night. Well, people knew who he was, but people know who he is now. Yeah, it definitely could have been Boots. That's all I was thinking about last night. I wasn't even thinking about the sparring. Even when the sparring came out, I'm thinking in my mind last night. Because to be honest with y'all, I ain't even want to watch the fight. I'm like, man, Tyez could have fought Boots. I don't want to watch this fight, man. So I just turned it on. He was fighting the base. I ended up watching it, but yeah, they could have really put Boots in a good situation at 54, man. It really, I don't know. I don't understand this move. This move he's making now is actually going to be harder than the Tyez fight. And Tyez just fought J Rock. You supposed to get that get back. He said Adamas don't want nothing to do with Janet. Yeah, he moved on from that. He don't want nothing to do with Janet. Yeah, he's moved on from that situation. Yeah, I saw that too recently, Jose. Yeah, Friday was a lot better. I actually watched Friday more than yesterday. I watched Friday the whole card, and then yesterday I watched Tyez and that was it. I tried to get Stephanie Hun fight, but I ended up missing it. Well, that's good news then. I thought I had something to go back and watch. Yeah, but I watched the one Friday. Yeah, that was a good fight card, man. As far as those fights, because you know some of these fight cards have been coming on. They don't have a fight like the one we seen last night. Yeah, where is Tyez gonna go from here, man? Then at 54, this guy Bays, I don't know. They depending on how they rank Jaron Ennis, he probably could still have a chance to fight that guy. He probably could have a chance to fight that guy and then go into a fight with Virgil or Fundora for a unification. We're gonna do some research on that and figure out what's going on. But as far as what Jose said, yeah, he's definitely speaking facts. He's definitely telling the truth on that one. But we still have some more. And then they got Saddam Ali fighting next Sunday. Don't have too many fights coming up until Terence Crawford fights Canelo. I know they got Oscar Valdez fighting in September, but up until that, Chocolatito fighting that Friday. Yeah, up until that's Canelo and Crawford fight, it's not gonna be a lot going on. Which is gonna be good. They're gonna build a fight up. It's gonna take what 3 weeks, and that's a smart idea. You taking 3 weeks to kind of clear everything out, build up the fight, let everybody know what's going on. But I don't know, man. I think maybe the undercards might perform a little bit better. These young guys be showing up for these undercards. A lot of these guys undefeated, not trying to take a loss. I know as a fan, we probably not thinking about that, but a lot of these guys are trying to take no loss on the undercard, especially if you got like Fernando Vargas Jr. So it's gonna be an action packed fight. He's been one of the most active prospects in boxing recently too. I'll give him that kind of credit. I'm not like a super fan of nothing, but I'll give him credit on that. The guy has been, out of all the Vargas brothers, he's been probably one of the most active as far as I've seen him fighting on any kind of fight card. If it has 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 6 rounds, if it's on a Friday, a Thursday, Wednesday. Yeah, I've seen him fighting on different kind of cards. So I'm like, oh, this dude's fighting any kind of fight he can get. So yeah, he's definitely been preparing. But I think the only fights we're actually going to see is probably pro box until then. You said I'm keeping it real. Domin's got a draw with Sherrod, but he should have got the W. Yeah, and the way he was firing off on Shiraz, and Shiraz had no answers early. Yeah, in that fight, because you know how most people say in certain draws it could have went either way. I definitely don't feel like Shiraz could have won that fight. I can't be mad if somebody said that. Cause no way that I think Shiraz won that fight. No way. But I'm gonna let you know something. But what Adama saying, what he said recently, that makes everything a lot more interesting. Adama said he might come to 168 and see about Shiraz. So I might have to come to 168 and see what he's talking about. If he go to 168, yeah, that's crazy, man. I'm still mad about that situation, PD. But got some good news. They said the rematch gonna happen early next year. Depending on when the fight happens between Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, you probably can see the winner of Matias and Dalton Smith fighting Puello on that card. If it happens early next year. If it don't, if they find somebody else, Shakur Stevenson or somebody, a certain fight, I don't know. Could be anybody. Could be Bivol, depending on when he returns. But I can see that type of fight actually happening. But yeah, Puello's getting this opportunity to fight again. But to be honest with you, that fight with him and Matias was actually a good fight though. Can't even lie. That was a very good fight. It was hard for me to pick a winner going into the fight. And Matias stayed on him the whole fight too. The only reason I can't get mad at Matias like that, he stayed on him the whole fight. He didn't do like the Paro fight where he kind of took some breaks here and there, fought on the outside a little bit. He stayed on him the whole fight. That was a crazy part. But yeah, that was a good fight, man. Most fights you don't got to see twice, but I'm pretty sure most boxing fans don't have a problem with seeing that fight again. Depends on what happens with Dalton Smith though. Dalton Smith is dangerous. Yeah, dude is close to like what Liam Paro is. Not because they're both white either. That dude Dalton Smith is dangerous. Dude can really box. Yeah, he's definitely dangerous. He actually one of the best UK fighters right now that people are not talking about. That dude is a problem though. So that's not gonna be an easy fight for Matias, but we'll see with Puello. We gotta see what happens with Morrell too. Morrell has the fight coming up with Cullum Smith. They're trying to order. I gotta see Morrell bounce back. Because it looks like if he can do what he needs to do at 175, he could have a collision course with Benavidez again. But it's gonna be hard to survive at 175. And the guy Tyez, hey, I got a question too. Does anybody know this? The guy Tyez, didn't he leave Ronnie Shields recently? So I thought him and Morrell had the same trainer. Didn't he leave Ronnie Shields as a trainer recently? Let me look this up real quick, y'all. This is huge information. Going into this fight, I had said something about Tyez. Well, I heard somebody said something about him switching trainers. Did him and Morrell's trainer split up after Morrell last fight? He did leave Ronnie Shields. He did leave Ronnie Shields. Definitely gonna do a video about that when I get off of here. This man Tyez did leave Ronnie Shields. I was wondering, I'm like, man, why am I not feeling Tyez like that recently? He left Ronnie Shields after Morrell fight, after Morrell's last performance. So you know Tyez is Cuban as well, like Morrell. And he left him after the last fight that Morrell had when he got dropped by the Russian guy for messing around. So I guess they put that responsibility on Ronnie Shields or something. Somebody did. Because why would you leave the guy after that performance? It has nothing to do with him that Morrell went in there and got dropped and almost lost the fight. And went away from Ronnie Shields. I heard something about it. People were saying some comments about he left him. And then people just had some comments about it last night. They said that they hate that he left Ronnie Shields, but I don't think he's the greatest trainer ever, but I've seen a lot of guys like get away from him and look terrible after that. I will say that. There's been a lot of fighters that go away from Ronnie Shields and they look worse. So he's kind of like saving a lot of guys' careers. And they're like, well, I'm going to move on and do my own thing. And they're not looking too good after they move on. And that guy Tyez lost last night. He said, when is that Russian guy fighting again that fought Morrell? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out as soon as I get off of here, PD. I'm going to figure out when he fight again. He need to be fighting like 3 or 4 times a year. I know he's with I don't know if he's directly with Cambosis, but they probably have a. I know him and Cambosa got a close relationship. I think Cambosa got a promotional team, so he might be signed to Cambosa. Yeah, the way I looked at it, I'm like, I know Tyez ain't put that on Ronnie Shields that Morrell was in there messing around. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I said I don't know if that guy's good enough to just walk away from Ronnie Shields. I don't know Tyez that well, but I did think to myself, I don't know if he's that good to be trying to get away from Ronnie Shields as soon as you start looking decent against J Rock. And then you know what he said recently? Oh man, I'm proud about the way I looked at against J Rock. That means as soon as you start looking good against a guy you consider a former star in boxing or current star still, now you move it to another direction. And he looked bad last night. The guys who was training him last night, he didn't not it's not that he didn't want to listen to them. He knew that they had no answers. It's like Tyre said last night to himself, man, I tried to do this on my own and I didn't got ahead of myself. Cause he survived last night on pure heart, but the dude he was fighting last night, Ronnie Shields would have let him know, hey man, this ain't no guy you just go in here and try to knock out. It's not that type of fight. Yeah, Morrell played way too much in the last fight. I seen him do that against a couple of guys. I think against Hot Rod and Benavidez. I didn't pay attention to I didn't pay attention to it too much, but it looked crazy when he did it the first time. But against the guy Katiev, yeah, it looked crazy because he got knocked down and he was still kind of messing with the guy. He said Cambosa's father, I think he's the manager or something. Yeah, they have a situation. I didn't know he was the manager of the guy though. I know he was in his corner. But yeah, I was watching the guy one day, and I said this dude look like a muscular Cambosis, the way he boxing. Then I think 2 days later he was training with Cambosis. I said, oh okay, that makes sense. But yeah, that dude's a beast. He's definitely a beast. I want to see him and Morrell actually fight again. But I think they're moving on, so got a lot of names at 175. You might see him in the ring with a Lyndon Arthur. Uh, I know Ben Whitaker is still at 175. Could Ben Whitaker beat that guy right now? Because I don't think Katiev, he doesn't have that many fights. Katiev only got like 10 fights. Yeah, he only got like 10 or 11 fights. So I know people will say Ben Whitaker doesn't have that many fights, but I think him and Katiev is around the same age. Let me look this up real quick. I think him and Ben Whitaker is actually the same age. I can't believe that guy's making 175 though. Y'all seen how big that guy was next to Morrell? Can't believe he's making 175. Yeah, Ben Whitaker 6'3", 9 fights. No, he got 10 fights. So this guy Katiev, he has 11 fights. Katiev has 11 fights and he just turned 30. And yeah, you're right. His manager is Jim Cambosis. So yeah, he signed with Cambosis G'd Up Promotions. I want to say possibly. And this guy only has 11 fights. He's fought twice this year though. So before this year, he only had 9 fights. Yeah, Morrell needs to stick with Ronnie Shields for right now. Do not fall into a situation like what Tyez did. I don't know why Tyez even left Ronnie Shields. I don't usually question guys when they leave trainers. Sometimes I don't really care. But like when Munguia did it with Freddie Roach, I thought that was too fast, and with Tyez, I thought it was too fast. And yeah, it turns out those situations got bad fast. I mean, this dude Tyez couldn't get past the base. The very next fight, he left running shields. The very next fight. That's how much a trainer makes a difference in a fight, to be honest with you. And people will say, well, maybe J Rock was done already. He said, I thought Conti had won that fight. Yeah, Morrell's fighting Cullen Smith in December for the WBO intern. That's in December. Yeah, that's gonna be a whole separate card. I forgot who they're trying to put in on the card in December. I think will that be the Pacquiao fight card? For some reason, Morrell fights in December a lot. He almost fought in December last year. Yeah, that could be the Pacquiao card. If not, I forgot the other name that's fighting in December. Yeah, I thought Katia won that fight actually. Just from what I seen and the way Morrell was kind of like late, I don't know. It was pretty close. I seen why they gave it to Morrell. Well, actually, I thought they gave it to Morrell because the guy failed the PD test last year, and they didn't want him to get any pressure. But I think he actually beat Morrell though, from what I thought. I can't really remember. I was trying to remember the fight to be honest. It was a close fight, but yeah, I thought the dude had won, and I thought Morrell had started late. He still made it close towards the end, but I thought the guy definitely did enough in that fight. And he was still pressing late in the fight too with Morrell. But Morrell started dominating him I want to say the last round or half the round, the last half of the round. Looked like he could have got a stoppage, but that was only like what, a minute and a half, a minute. But that made a difference though, was the last round, so that's why things like that make a big difference. But before that, he was getting met with every punch, every counter punch. Every time he would throw something, the guy Cartier would. They probably had the same amount of punches. Yeah, that was a fight though. That was a classic fight. That was probably one of the best fights that Turkey Al-Sheikh has put on so far. It might have been his best fight card so far too. The Shiraz Berlanga fight was good. Zepeda Shakur. Then you had Puello Matias, Morrell, and Katiev. Yeah, because once people seen that Katiev Morrell fight, I know it like everybody else did because I did. When I seen the fight, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this whole fight card. That's one of the best fights you can see to start off a fight card though. Yeah, but I forgot about that, man. Running Shields is the difference was the knockdown. Oh yeah, Katiev had a point deducted. Oh no, he didn't. No, he didn't. I'm tripping. No, he didn't. Somebody got warned for something in that fight. Was it holding or something? Forgot what it was. Yeah, somebody had got warned for something in that fight. Yeah, I thought he had got a point deducted or something. But yeah, they had that fight close. I think even on the TV they had Cartier winning the fight on the TV scorecards. That's what made it a little worse. But yeah, man, that guy Tyez went out there without running shields and got his first loss after leaving the guy. Like, what kind of trainer is he gonna get now to bounce back after this? Yeah, that's what's crazy, man. Yeah, that's gonna be a bad loss after that running shield situation. He'll be able to bounce back soon, but gotta figure it out. Yeah, that could have been boost last night though at 54. That's why what everybody's saying as far as the Virgil situation, I can understand both sides, but it's a lot of opportunities being passed up, bro. Being honest with y'all. It's a lot of opportunities being passed up. And the door open more than ever before. Guys ain't never had this kind of opportunity to be a champion at 154 across the board. It's like it's so wide open right now. Everybody getting the opportunity to have a shot, no matter who you are. Even the guy we talking about that knocked down Morrell, he's getting the opportunity. Yeah, the way boxing moving right now, it's a game changer. It only take one fight. Look at the dude Taillez last night. He gets beat up by a base. That guy becomes a noticeable name, big name. When you fight like that, people only care about the fight. They don't care about the name. Now he became a name. The dude who fought Morrell, he's a name now. This is how you build up boxing, to be honest with you. You always gonna want a big name, but they got to be a small name before they become a big name. And that's just at what 175. He said Taillez had his strength and conditioning coach as his trainer last night. What was he thinking? Hey, that's crazy. Appreciate that, Jose, for telling me that. Jose, you know what's crazy about that? What was he thinking to even think that at this level, you can walk in there with a strength and conditioning coach? Was it a I don't want to pay this guy type of thing? That would be worse. Yeah, that would be worse, man. I just don't understand that. This dude had a strength and conditioning coach as a trainer last night. There's no way he can go home and be like, man, I don't know why that happened. And I never did pay attention to any of that because when he was fighting last night, the thought of him not having running shields never crossed my mind. I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just happy I caught the fight. And now when you look at things, you like, now I understand why he was looking the way he did. The guy who was talking to him in the corner had no answers because he was a strength and conditioning coach. He wasn't even listening to the guy. The only thing Taillez really had in his mind was, let me get through these rounds and make it to the to the last bell, no matter what. And I said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. I have never been so scared of a dude to take two more punches. I was like, man, this dude take two more punches. It's gonna go bad. I do not want to see nobody lose their life in the ring. But two more punches for him was like they wanted him to actually make it that far. But yeah, that was crazy to have two more punches land though. I would have turned the fight off then. I would say nah. He was getting destroyed last night, man. The way blood was coming out his nose, nah. When blood started to bubble up coming out your nose, nah. It's not no regular beatdown. He said, I don't know. Like you said, Ronnie Shields may not be the best trainer, but he's a respectable coach. Yeah, I don't know where he goes in this direction as far as. So now we know he needs a trainer, no matter what. But who does he get? Do you get a guy that's like Ronnie Shields, or do you get the opposite? If the opposite doesn't work, are you going to come back and try to get another Ronnie Shields or somebody like that? Yes, to make that change that early is not good. That's definitely not a good move to make, man. And I always thought that Ronnie Shields, even with Charlo going over there with Derrick James, I always thought Ronnie Shields was bringing the best out of Charlo. It seemed like as time went on, Jamel Charlo started. Him and Jamal, it's just started to fade a little bit. And I don't even think Jamal is working with Ronnie Shields no more. I mean, how is that working out? But it seemed like both of those guys just started to fade a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, this guy's helping these fighters a lot more than you can actually tell. Yeah, that guy tired. I don't want to say he's done, man, but after what I seen last night, he needs a trainer. He just can't have anybody in the corner. Because the guy last night, he wasn't really a technician. And then at 54, to be moving around in that weight class, and you've already put yourself in the mix to where people know who you are, you're considered somewhat of a notable name. If this dude continue to fight like he did last night and doesn't get a trainer on running shield level or better, he gonna take a lot of steps back. Yeah, I almost got off live without even knowing that. I had forgot this dude left running shields. I'm like, man, somebody left running shields recently. Had to be this guy, right? Definitely is him. And the main reason I think is because of the Morrell performance. It was nothing else that happened between running shields from the time that Taez before that time where he moved away from running shields. The only thing that happened was Morrell almost losing and looking bad in the fight. And we've seen certain guys. I don't know if maybe it's because guys don't really understand running shields a certain way, but seen certain guys do it, man. Charlo and now Taez. Happens every time. Yeah, they definitely gonna regret that one. Sometimes you can still work with a trainer without just calling it quits. But yeah, guys calling it quits though. But I think when Running Shields hangs it up as a trainer, he's gonna have more success with fighters. Well, fighters will have more success with him than they will away from him. Not to say they're not good, but he's helping guys a lot more than I realized. Even recently, probably over the last 2 or 3 years with David Morrell. I want to say before David Morrell, no, before Andre fought Benavidez, that's when I realized, oh, Ronnie Shields is helping Morrell a lot. Like Morrell is a good boxer, but he's helping him a lot more than I realized. Like even in the last fight he just had, he kind of saved him. Another trainer just would have just said, you know, I'm getting my check. I'm not finna yell at this guy. But Ronnie Shields like, bro, you got to put it together. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, even last fight, Running Shield saved him. And then the guy's countryman, a fellow Cuban fighter, he says, "Man, Dave Morrell looked bad his last fight." Well, he didn't say that, but allegedly, from the way he moved, Dave Morrell has a close fight against Katiev, and at Taez, he goes in another direction. And then you look bad. But the one thing I realized from that fight last night, if Taez had any kind of problems, I think he just overlooked the guy. I think he really just overlooked the guy. I don't think it was a skill problem. I don't think it was talent. I don't think he went into that fight preparing to go 12 rounds with an animal. This dude was an animal last night. That was the longest 12 rounds of Taez's life. He wasn't prepared. Because I knew Taez could survive 12 rounds at a certain point, even though it looked like he was going to get stopped. But the look in his eyes, you could tell. You could just go watch the fight over. The look in his eyes was, I was not prepared to fight a guy like this. He wasn't prepared to do anything it takes to win last night. You could just tell the energy he had walking to the corner. It just wasn't the same. Yeah, he kind of let up a little bit. It wasn't the same fighter I seen over the last 12 months. Yeah, but I appreciate everybody for coming through the live, man. I appreciate that, Jose. I'm gonna holler at you later on, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through the live, man. Checking it out. We're gonna be back either later on tonight or tomorrow. See if we got some more topics to talk about in boxing. But I appreciate Jose and everybody for dropping the news and the info. Sable. Shout out to PD, Big Money. Shout out to Big Money. Shout out to Aaron. Everybody coming through. Shout out to J Man too. What's up, J Man? What's up?